So, apparently, Google doesn't know what rap metal is. Neither does half the world, apparently. So, yeah. Today's episode, obviously, from what I said and whatever I end up titling this, is going to explain that, yeah, metal, rap metal in particular, like kind of do what we did with country and country rap and the rappers that like emerged into that. So started doing some research, and like I've listened to a couple of rap metal projects before, primarily Body Count with Ice-T, but like I never never really like got like huge into it, but I knew it was an actual genre because there's a handful of projects out there that are that. And so I even have some on my to-do list still, but hadn't quite made it there to them because of doing other things and whatnot. So with that being said, we're going to break it down, talk about a few different things, and hopefully you enjoy. So first things first, check out the spread shop and pick you up a super sweet Tin Roof shirt. Check out our playlist on Spotify, Tin Roof playlist. We've added a handful more songs here as of late, and working on adding a few more. Been trying to decide what else to add. I think I'm gonna go through and pick out some good Winds of Plague ones that would be good. And then Dubby, get you some super great energy drink powder on the cheap. Save yourself 10% by using the code STORIES10. So all of those things taken care of and out of the way. Now we can just discuss music. Yeah, I really don't have much for throwing dirt today, so I think we're really just going to discuss music. Working on getting a mic still, obviously. As you can see, I don't have one attached to my shirt. So, hopefully in editing I can clean this audio up to be amazing. If not, I apologize. I am trying. Just give me time. Kind of takes us back to the original days whenever we first started recording these podcasts by not having a mic. Wow, how do I want to start? I guess let's wind it back to 1992-ish. That's where Body Count really started, was in the early 90s, which, I mean, that's just absolutely crazy to think about how long ago that was when rap metal first really came on the scene. And you know, there's so many rumors and things that kind of go around rap metal, and I find it so interesting because when you Google it, they credit, Limp Bizkit, Korn, System of a Down, and several others, and it's like those are new metal, those aren't rap metal, and so that's different. And it was just it was so weird. And I'm sitting there like feeling like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, and then Metal Injection actually had a really great article on the actual like difference, and they actually give a list of a couple of bands, and we're going to look at that list later, because they're on my to-do list. They're not ones that I had made it to yet, but so earliest one that I could see as being around was my brain is not with me today, I'm sorry, it's been a long week. Earliest was Body Count, from what I could tell. Head PE would be one of the other ones up there. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. But I wanted to look back and see So Ice-T, regular rap career started first, a couple of years before Body Count. So like late 80s, Ice-T's career as a rapper starts. And then early 90s, Body Count forms. And then from there, rest is history. And the cool thing about them is they actually have performed at Mayhem Fest, and it was definitely a good marketing tool by the band and Mayhem Fest to be like, hey, Body Count's going to be here featuring Ice-T, because doing it in that sense gave them the extra credibility going into certain markets, which is incredibly smart, because you go into a market like, we'll say St. Louis, for example. You mention the name Ice-T, you're going to sell a handful more tickets. You go to a place like Los Angeles, you're going to sell a handful more tickets. So it made sense to mention, hey, Ice-T's going to be here. So them being one of the pioneers, but they're not the only ones that I would call pioneers of rap metal, because then you also have Head PE, who burst onto the scene back in '97. So we're getting new metal kind of starting to come out and everything, and this is about 5 years later, but I would still call them one of the pioneers. They come around in '97, and they have had several amazing songs that, if you go back, 90. Well, why did the albums only go to 97? Okay, so this is kind of confusing, because I was trying to, the way I normally do my research is I do it by looking at initial album coming out, but then on their top songs I saw that there was one from 90, which doesn't make any sense, because in the about information on Apple Music, it says natives of Huntington Beach, California, Head PE came together in '94, unified by a desire to mesh Orange County's skate punk with G-funk era. The result was a hybrid sound characterized by heavy bass grooves, their guitar assaults, and party-centered rhymes, which dubbed G-punk after an independent EP led to a deal with Jive Records, which is really cool to find out like which record company that they were associated with, in all honesty, if you ask me. And then Head PE's self-titled debut was released in '97, so it was right on their debut. 2 more LPs followed on Jive before the band moved to Coke, introducing a measure of politically fueled outrage only in America in '04 that would grow more prominent in subsequent efforts back to Base X in 2006 and New World Orphans, which I've heard a couple of songs from the New World Orphans album, and fantastic. These guys, I know they're called G-Punk, but they are definitely in the mix as far as like what we're looking for and what we're talking about, especially since it like talks about like the G-Funk and stuff like that, because they get that almost my brain is not working. Nate Dogg and who else was on the Regulators in my brain? I feel so ridiculous right now. I'm gonna kick myself. Oh, Warren G, duh. Okay, so very much like that vibe with their stuff, but heavier, obviously. And the lyrics is definitely a huge part of it, whether it's like party-based or even politically charged, because with a lot of Body Count stuff, it is very much politically charged. They have the song Cop Killer. They have several other politically charged songs, but then they also have like very much partyish songs. Like one of the very first songs that they had out was Body Count, where it's like an introduction. It's very explicit though, so warning. They do have one song in particular from their 94 album. Yes, called Hey Joe. That was really, really good. There's a couple others on there that I'm gonna have to give a listen to because I didn't get to listen to the whole album, nor will I listen to the whole album. But Hey Joe was pretty interesting. But Body Count in particular, they even released solely an instrumental. So if you want to listen to just the beats, their album Carnivore from 2020, they released as a instrumental project as well in 2023. And they did the same with Bloodlust. So there you go. Get you some cool beats without any lyrics, which honestly, like, if you're wanting to like practice some lyrical writing and everything, that could be a lot of fun. So for myself in particular, I'm gonna check that out and kind of play around. But we've talked Head PE, we've talked Body Count. I do want to talk Downset, because they definitely are rap metal and they are really good. They've got several good songs that again, from 94 is whenever Downset started, and like some of their most popular songs are from that very first album, which was titled Downset. I thought it was titled something else. I was getting it confused with, I think, Do We Speak a Dead Language is what I was getting it confused with. But so many of their popular songs came from both of those albums, Do We Speak a Dead Language, which came out in 96, and Downset. Because from Downset you have Anger, About to Blast, Downset, My American Prayer, Ritual, and Take 'Em Out in their top songs. And then you have Empower and Eyes Shut Tight from their Do We Speak a Dead Language. But they bring out a bunch of like powerhouse, politically charged songs. Theirs are mostly politically charged and not so much like the party sound. And this is kind of cool because this is actually like a quote-ish thing from Steve Huey with this whole thing. So they're actually considered formed in '89, although they really didn't start putting out albums and stuff until '94. So blending rap, funk, hardcore punk, heavy metal, and socially aware lyrics, like we just discussed, Downset was initially formed in Los Angeles in the late 80s as part of the city's still thriving hardcore scene, but quickly expanded their sound and changed their name from their more didactic social justice, composed of vocalist Ray Oropesa, guitarist Ari Schweger, and Rogelio Roy Lozano, the latter of whom has also worked as Cypress Hill's touring guitarist, which I did not realize he was Cypress Hill's touring guitarist. That's pretty cool. Bassist James Morris and drummer Chris Lee. Downset perfected their bleak urban brand of rap hard rock fusion years before the genre exploded commercially, debuting in '94 with a self-titled album for Polygram. The follow-up, Do We Speak a Dead Language, appeared in '96, which we already talked about, but the band was sued, frustrated in its efforts to complete a third album due to contractual entanglements resulting from its label's merger with Universal. Downset eventually caught on with Epitaph and issued Check Your People in late 2000. Universal followed 4 years later. So, very cool. And some similar artists to Downset would be Biohazard, Stuck Mojo, Vision of Distorter, Sick of It All, Madball, Dog Eat Dog, Orange 9mm, and Life of Agony. Not super familiar with very many of those bands. I think I may have heard one Dog Eat Dog song. And they're from about the same time period, performing in the early 90s to mid 90s, somewhere in there. The most frustrating thing about this whole ordeal was trying to pinpoint. I wanted to give you guys some really good information on rap metal. It being a genre that I'm not like super into, because I'm more into like your classic metal and your even some of your new metal projects which have rap influences, which I want to get into, but they're like side stuff. I want to focus on giving these people their flowers, so to speak, before I do anything else, because new metal will get their own day eventually. So whenever my research started to kind of like hit walls, I was not like angry or like, but I was very much, come on, like somebody has to know something. And so the article by Metal Injection was great. And the title of the article is Rappers and Riffs, 5 Rap Metal Bands That Don't Suck. And they credit Cypher, which I have heard of Cypher. They've been played on Liquid Metal before. They are very talented people. I don't know too much about them. I know, hey, yeah, that's a good song. But beyond that, so talking about their instrumentation here, their instrumentation combines metalcore with elements of progressive metal, jazz, fusion, and post-hardcore. Cypher's output would still destroy if Mitchell didn't rap over it. Their songwriting constantly throws curveballs, overcoming the rap metal pitfalls of generic riffs. So not only are they laying down, you know, the typical rap metal like style of lyrics, but they're making it more technical on the instrumental side, which is very, very cool. Definitely gonna have to start looking more into them. Let's see, when was Cypher founded? So they were formed in 96. They didn't put out an album till 05 that is on Apple. But they have one from 05 and 2010 on Apple Music. I feel like you could probably find more elsewhere. Because a band that's been around that long, yeah. So that's interesting. Hold on a second. We're gonna do some more digging on the Cypher thing here in a minute. But Hacktivist is another one. So Hacktivist is actually from the, like, I guess from the UK, from the way this is set up. But so his music is described, or their music is described as grime metal, combining like djent with so like UK's regional style of hip hop and djent metal. So that's kind of interesting. And the result actually caused people to like compare it to Linkin Park. So that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to like listen to them some. Unity TX, they're actually listed as hip hop and rap on Apple Music. So they do their best at fighting against rap metal and new metal stereotypes, which is interesting. So Jay Webster roasting YouTuber Finn McKenty for mentioning Unity TX in his video about new metalcore. I love the fact that they're like, no, we're not new metal, because there's a difference. I guess now would probably be the best time to go into the difference. Okay, so there are influences of rap in new metal. It's very apparent with Slipknot's first album, where Corey Taylor does, you know, like spit it out like he's blah, 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 like very, very fast with his lyrics, and it's very impressive. It's very cool. But new metal is a totally different sound than rap metal. The riffs are different, like instrumental wise, totally different. There's still like keyboards and sound effects and stuff in certain bands, and then like Korn, you know, huge rap influence, you know, being from California and having that, you know, 90s Cali feel, like even with how they dress and stuff. Fieldy, especially. Fieldy's a huge hip-hop fan, but they weren't rap metal. They're new metal, and like Jonathan Davis does not rap. The cool thing is they featured a couple of rappers on songs that did rap, and it sounds cool because it combines the two. It's not rap metal, but it's new metal featuring rap aspects, rap lyrics, rap style. It's rap because you get Ice Cube, you get Nas. I feel like there was another one that I'm forgetting. Regardless, the way that they're done is, it comes out well, but still, it's not rap metal. It is new metal. System of a Down, very fast, you know, talking about like Chop Suey, you know, a few others where it's like very, very fast with how it comes out, but that doesn't make it rap. It's still its own genre. I really don't know how much rap influenced System of a Down, just because I'm not like super familiar with them, but they have a cool sound, and again, they would not be rap metal, because lyrics, again, party lyrics, politically charged, you know, going back to, you know, Slipknot and Korn, much darker lyrics, much more new metal themed with the themes particularly, and even writing style, and you can examine that very easily. You know, if you were to put one of Body Count's songs, particularly Cop Killer, that's what I was trying to say, and then, you know, say Spit It Out, like side by side, you can see the difference. Cadences, how it's written, topic, so on and so forth. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, Gassed Up is another one to look into. These guys are from New York, but so Gassed Up was a UK rap metal band from 2014 to 2022. Wow, there's really not a lot about them. That's so interesting. When is this article by Metal Injection from? 21. Okay, so this article is old, so we got to keep that in mind. That being said, a couple of these bands don't even have anything on Apple Music. Now, you can run 2 or more music outlets, like I do myself. I use Spotify and I use Apple Music. You can definitely do the same. Even highly recommend it for instances like this. Even Amazon Prime is really good because, like, country-wise, you can listen to Garth Brooks on there. So that's interesting. Okay, so man, there's a lot of pitfalls that go along with the rap metal genre, apparently, which is frustrating because it's not that hard. Like, it's good music, it's entertaining music. One thing that I did find while I was looking it up that I have to talk about is there's a band called BlackGold that I would definitely look into. Haven't seen anything from them for a little bit, so I don't know what they're doing at the moment, but Filth definitely has rap inspirations, but they also do very much extreme vocals, so I don't know if you could really count them as rap metal. Actually, we can take a look real quick. And they actually dropped an album, which I'm gonna have to check out. because of doing the album of the year and stuff, and trying to find new music to recommend to you guys. They have a new album out called Southern Hostility, but they don't even have an About on there. So what they would be considered, I'm not 100% sure. But Filth has a very unique style. Well, I probably won't be listening to that album, unfortunately. Oh, wait. I think that Filth and Chelsea Grin one, I think I have heard. I'm going to have to look into that. So they definitely have a influence anyways, but you can always keep them in mind as well. As always with everything, musically nowadays, if you choose not to listen to stuff with explicit lyrics, you're gonna have to play it safe and be mindful of the ease. But that being said, I feel like we've pretty well covered everything I wanted to cover today as far as rap metal goes. Would have loved to have had more. Kind of disappointed in not having more, but yeah. So another song from the Twisters album has been released, this time by Thomas Rhett. And guys, that album is shaping up to be phenomenal. Every song that I've listened to from it is fantastic. Can't wait to hear the whole thing in entirety. I've been listening to a lot of new stuff here lately. Red Clay Strays has been on my radar a lot lately. So yeah. Oh, Visions of Atlantis. They just dropped a new album, and I highly recommend checking it out. Very well, I mean, it's their style, obviously. I like the storytelling type things, obviously, like being a big Iron Maiden fan. So it, right up my alley. I thought it was fantastic. A couple of songs really stood out on the album. So, check out Visions of Atlantis, Pirates 2 Armada. Definitely a good listen. I think that's pretty much all I got for you guys this week. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. I feel like we didn't cover enough. I didn't do enough bands justice that would fall into the rap metal genre. Nathan Jones, another guy, while I'm sitting here thinking about it as I'm wrapping up, who does the rap metal type stuff. And his, if I had to compare him to somebody, even though there's not a lot of comparison there, it's just the closest thing I have. So before somebody's like, no, he's not, hold on. But comparison wise, he reminds me of rap metal's Tom McDonald. I don't think that that's accurate enough, let me say that, but he's got a very unique style. And with it being so unique, the uniqueness is what reminds me of Tom McDonald, not so much the politically charged themes or anything like that. But that being said, at least I think that that's all. So thank you guys so much. Always trying to bring you guys super cool content by discussing neat topics that interest me. Maybe if you know some rap metal bands or whatever that you would like discussed in some shape or form further down the road, leave them in the comments. Thank you. Have a good one.